Well, folks, Orangina Felonious Schlumper McPhee has a new barnacle. Well, maybe more accurately a parasite. And he's obviously not a particularly choosy host. He'll let anyone with the appropriate parts feed off of him, as long as they whisper sweet nothings in his miraculously resurrected ear. Yeah. A shit stirrer named Laura Loomer has attached herself to the Orange Savior. She's a one-woman for one-man show, and she sure likes to tell. Laura Loomer fancies herself a journalist and not a hateful hack, in the same way a Cybertruck fancies itself a car, and not an identifier of douchebags. Both took the overconfident, pervasively revolting, and delusionally unself-aware approach to get to relevance, because who cares if you stand out for being gross as long as people are looking? Yeah. Well, you've probably heard Laura Loomer has loomied her prickly little self into the lap of the lunatic running for president, and Republicans are a little concerned. They're worried because Laura Loomer is a freaky-deaky nasty dinkus, like Ann Coulter, but even more culty. Laura Loomer is known as a social media instigator. Well, nah, she's known as an asshole, but her tactics often involve instigating on social media, where she does have more than 1 million followers. Yeah. Couple examples stand out, like just before the debate, when Laura tweeted, "If Kamala Harris wins, the White House will smell like curry and become a poorly run customer service hotline." Prior to that, she also accused Kamala Harris of having so many abortions that she damaged her uterus. Or this tweet, "Hey at Joe Biden, I know your dementia has eaten your brain worse than Bo's, but your degenerate son Hunter isn't Jill's son. Hunter is the son of your dead wife Nelia. You know, the one you were cheating on with Jill Biden." That's Lou Malicious for you. She hits you like a punch. While you catch your breath, let me clarify. Joe married Jill 5 years after his first wife died. Hunter was 6 years old. 6. There was no affair, and Jill sure as fuck became Hunter's mom. Well, most Americans who use their brains found it a little sus for Luma Llama Ding Dong to attend this year's ceremony commemorating 9/11. Wouldn't you know it, Laura's shit-licking take on 9/11 was that it was an inside job staged in part by Donald Rumsfeld in order to take over the national security bureaucracy. So it probably didn't feel so good for all the relatives of the poor souls who lost their lives in the tragedy to see the person who has effectively punched them all standing next to the former president. You know, in the same way it doesn't feel good for parents across the nation to see congressmen and women wearing AR-15 pins in the halls of government. Well, Luma Llama isn't just a keyboard warrior. She performs live too. Yeah. She came to fame by chaining herself to the door at Twitter's New York office in protest for being banned for posting conspiracy theories about mass shootings. The other asshole, Elon, reinstated her, because of course he did. One time, Loomer convinced several random men she met at Home Depot, the undocumented kind according to her, to jump the fence at Nancy Pelosi's home in Napa and set up a tent to protest immigration. She even staged a Trump rally outside of a DeSantis book signing, and she said his wife Casey exaggerated her breast cancer diagnosis for sympathy votes. She calls her favorite method of attention-seeking looming, which is when she corners a Republican, sticks a camera in their face, and accuses them of being a meanie pants to Orangina. Fun fact, Luma Llama's assholery has gotten her banned from Facebook, Instagram, Lyft, Uber, PayPal, Cash App, and GoFundMe. She even says Fox News won't touch her with a 10-foot pole. But that's okay, because Orangina loves the way she strokes his ego. Laura ran for a U.S. House seat in Florida in 2020 and 2022 and lost both times. Womp womp. Her current goal is an official spot in Orangina's circle, not just a friends with photo ops and benefits type of arrangement. Last spring, Orangina wanted to hire Laura, but oddly enough, some of his aides told him that would be a bad idea. I guess not everyone advising Orangina hates him. She says she lost 25 pounds since then, so she would be presentable enough for her savior. So it's likely Orangina could give her another shot at making her access permanent. Picture that, folks. Luma Llama would have influence on the dictator, psychopath, pervy, unrestrained orange monster. Oh wait, she already does. Laura has a show called Unleashed, on Rumble, but it's been said that she does her best work on Truth Social. She's good with emojis in all caps. Laura herself says she doesn't have much of a life, and she doesn't date, but she thinks that's because she's an Islamophobe, and not because she's a scab. Steve Bannon says he doesn't know anyone who has dedicated her body and soul to Trump and MAGA the way she has. Ashley Babbitt comes to mind, but I digress. Orangina says he doesn't control Laura, but let's be honest, only women he controls are still willing to stand next to him. I mean, except for the ones he pays to do it, like Melania, and most likely Ivanka. Even MTG thinks Luma Llama is toxic. Marge said Laura's tweet about Kamala and Curry in the White House was racist. Laura basically called Marge a slut for that one. Lindsey Graham tried to step in, and Laura called him closeted gay. All standard fare for a pick-me princess like Luma Llama. At this point, it's clear Laura would do anything for the infamy of serving Orangina. It wouldn't surprise anyone if Laura volunteered herself to be the one he shoots on Fifth Avenue, just to prove he wouldn't lose any votes. Either that, or she might offer to travel with Orangina in a uniform that says Chosen One, just so nobody worries he's assaulting anyone else. Every monster needs a Luma Llama in their pocket, don't you think? Yeah. Well, Laura Loomer, have the day that you deserve.